Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no! I have always wanted to give you guys something special for being the fans of Descendants of Zombies that you've been through the years, because it's been an incredible decade and one that I know that will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. So I just wanted to give back to each and every one of you and give you something special that you could believe in. To know that Zombies 5 was going to happen, that Descendants 5 with Wonderland is coming, because there is indeed a future for us all to be excited about, and I just wanted to be a part of that future, and Descendants of Zombies gave me that chance. I saw a very unbelievable future in store for every fan of Descendants of Zombies, and I wanted that to be known. So I took to my YouTube channel, I created this beautiful YouTube channel with so much beautiful content for every fan of Descendants of Zombies that would go on to resonate with everybody's heart, because they may have had a favorite character who they love with all of their heart, because I know how it goes for everybody out there watching this video tonight. You're a fan of Kylie Control, so because you're a fan of Kylie Control, you buy the I Love LA merchandise like Kylie Control does. You pattern yourself after Kylie Control. You collect the Descendants of Zombies dolls. You feel very passionate about learning how to draw your favorite Descendants of Zombies characters, and I must say that some of your drawings about your favorite Descendants of Zombies characters are really beautiful, and you should continue on following your passions. I just want to let everybody know that. That's all I've ever wanted you guys to encourage to do, is to follow your passions. I've always believed in messages of kindness, and Descendants of Zombies has allowed me to spread an emphatic message of kindness to let people like Kylie Contrell, Meg Donnelly, Freya Sky, that they are doing a beautiful job. I've always wanted to let them know that they're always welcome to be a part of these conversations and to be a part of this universe, because they gave something special back to every fan of Descendants of Zombies. They gave everybody somebody to believe in, somebody to feel very passionate about, and you guys have forever and always had a very special place in your heart for characters like Red and Chloe and Bridget. It's really cool how these characters have resonated with you guys time and time again, because time is the most precious commodity of every lifetime, and because we never know how much time we have, it's something to be very appreciative of. And I've grown very fond of people on this YouTube channel, because you guys are some of the most incredibly supportive fans I've ever met. Some of you I've considered my best friends, because I perceive this YouTube channel as a journal, and I tell you stories about what happens in my everyday life that often relate to Descendants of Zombies. It is really cool having the honor to share with everybody your story about how you became a fan of Descendants of Zombies, and if I couldn't do that, I didn't want to be a part of these conversations at all. But every opportunity I've ever had to share with you my story about how I felt very passionate about being a YouTube creator, or very passionate about the chances of a zombie invasion ever happening, or aliens coming from outer space to abduct us all and beam us all up. If you ever believed in any of this ever being possible or being true in videos you may have seen on YouTube or saw on TV, because as I've believed for many years, everything I've saw on TV was real, because I'm such a loser. The thing is, you guys saw something special in this YouTube channel from the first video that was ever uploaded here. And I've told you stories about how I believe there was an alien mothership on the way to Earth to kill us all, how my roommate may have been a werewolf and I contemplated shooting him. I believed in a zombie apocalypse happening more than I believed anything could ever happen for me in my own life. And to be honest with you guys, it would be really cool to experience a zombie invasion, because I would have the opportunity to protect each and every one of you who have been incredibly loyal to Descendants of Zombies and its stars for forever and always. The love and devotion that you guys show for your favorite stars like Meg Donnelly, Milo Manheim for at least the last 7 years falls nothing short of incredible to me, and it's really mind-blowing to me how incredibly supportive you guys have forever and always remained, because Descendants of Zombies is a constant. And a constant is something that is really iconic and something that deserves to be appreciated. There are so many constants in entertainment, like how Britney Spears was one of the most revered celebrities of all time because of her songs Oops, I Did It Again and Hit Me Baby One More Time. The Backstreet Boys were one of the most revered boy bands in history ever since May 6, 1996, when their first album ever dropped. And then a year later, exactly 1 year later, here comes Handsome with their debut single. It's amazing all the things that I've had the chance to experience, and so many people have gone on to achieve so much recognition and reverity for their iconic names that they've established in this industry. But I think Descendants of Zombies is well on its way to achieving more reverity than anything we've ever had the chance to experience, and I got to share in that with each and every one of you. I grew up in generations that people like Leomani Segura, who's an up-and-coming cast member for Descendants of Zombies, who I'm incredibly excited to meet. I just want to put that out there. I understand how she feels about the 1980s. I grew up in the 1990s, which was a generation that Kylie Control was such a huge fan of. Just she wished that she had the opportunity to experience. I wish I could have jumped inside of a time machine and take Kylie Control back to that generation, because I think we can never have enough time to experience these moments for what they're worth. I remember 1990s being so fun because I remember the premiere of the Backstreet Boys debut album on May 6, 1996. Less than 1 year later, Hanson's album debuted on that same date in 1997. I remember how successful their singles were because it only had 10 songs on the track, and the thing was, if an album had 10 songs on it, you had gold in your hand, and it was something so special. So I think that the opportunities that Freya Sky is being presented with to have her own vinyl at such a young age is truly incredible. I remember how special vinyls were to my grandmother and my mother, who collected them for a number of years. I never collected vinyls, but I thought they were so cool. You know, the designs, the back of the cases, how the vinyl presented itself was always so revered. And I think that Freya Sky is well on her way to becoming an established name in this industry. And all I've ever wanted to be is a part of these conversations and to share with you guys my thoughts on Descendants of Zombies, because indeed there is a future. And if you've ever believed in anything happening for your favorite franchises and its stars, then perhaps you should continue on believing and continue on following your passions when it comes to Descendants of Zombies, because you felt very passionate about the story and its characters, the storylines, the music. It's really fun being a part of these conversations with every fan of Descendants of Zombies, because it gives them a chance to represent themselves for who they're a fan of or what they love so much about Descendants of Zombies. I really love these new wigs and these new costume updates for the Descendants characters. I know a lot of people put up these videos on YouTube where they go in extensive detail about the costumes, and in the extensive detail they give about the costumes, they don't really show a greater appreciation for how beautiful these costumes are. You know, I've heard the critical reviews of the Pink costume and Pink's wig, but the thing is, she's beautiful regardless of how people have felt about her in the way of reviewers on YouTube, and I really wish more people would take away a greater appreciation for a character that is still relatively new. And I think she's well on her way to becoming an established name as part of the Descendants franchise, and I think she's going to have a lot to offer to this franchise. She's going to give it life, if anything, just like she did for High School Musical, the series, just she does every project she ever had the honor of being a part of. I remember all the music videos for the High School Musical, the series, and how many millions of views they would rack up on YouTube. And now Freya Sky is somebody who has over 750,000 subscribers on YouTube. Kylie Control has over 500,000. And that really says a lot. Because if I was going to say anything about Kylie Control, it was going to have to be something nice. I was very fond of Kylie Control, always being in the gym and what she had to endure, you know, always having to stay in shape and always having to live up to a certain criteria and or expectation for her management label, but she was able to come through every single time. And even with how many tears she cried, she was still a stronger person in the end, because each and every one of you had an endless amount of support that you always came out for and shined with because of Kylie Control. I want you guys to forever and always remain passionate about people like Kylie and Freya, because the more love that we show them, the further they will go. And I'm just so excited to be a part of these conversations that I've had the opportunity to have with everybody out there, because I know that you're just as passionate about Descendants of Zombies as I've felt over the years. And the more passion that we gain for these franchises, the more respect we'll have for these stars and everything they've gone through, having to go through public school, have to attend school on set. There's a lot of pressure that goes with this, and I know that Freya Sky is not particularly fond of math class, but you know something? I wasn't fond of math either years ago until I wrote one final exam for math, and I didn't really have a great average in math, but I wrote the exam, and I literally got 100 on the exam. To this day, the teachers have no idea how I was able to score a score of 100 on a final exam, but somehow I was able to do it. So it just goes to show, no matter how much you can't stand a subject in school, a particular subject, you can always shine through, and you can always find a way to prove critics wrong, because sometimes your teachers really hold you down, but when you score 100% on a final exam and they're like, oh my God, how did this happen for somebody who didn't seem to know really a whole lot throughout the whole year? It is really possible, and I never knew it was possible until I scored 100 on the final exam. That was back in, I think, grade 10, that I had the opportunity to write the final exam. My average wasn't considerably high, but I came on the other side of the spectrum with over 100% on the exam. I know that's virtually impossible, or sounds virtually impossible, but it happened for me some way or somehow. So I think that no matter how much you can't stand a certain subject, something always happens for you for the better, and I think you take away a greater appreciation for everything that comes your way because of what you may have learned because of Descendants of Zombies. This truly has been the greatest experience of my lifetime. It's been a learning experience for me, because there was a point in time in my lifetime where I didn't really know a whole lot about Descendants of Zombies, but I got to learn more through the years. And you know something, I gained a greater appreciation for every fan of Descendants of Zombies because everybody had a different story or a different reason as to why they may have been a fan of Descendants of Zombies. And that was so cool for me, having the chance to not only share with you my story, but to hear your story. Because the reality of life is that we're faced with is that everybody has a story. No matter how impossible it may seem for everybody to have their own individual story, everybody has a story that they want to share with the world. And I think that everybody should be given an equal opportunity to share that story with the world. Your life pretty much starts out as a blank book with blank pages. And each day is an opportunity to write something new, a new chapter in that book. And it gives people a greater appreciation for you as a person because there's only one you. And it gives you the chance to rewrite your history and rewrite your legacy and to define your legacy. That was what the song Legends in the Making from Zombies 4, Dawn of the Vampires, was pretty much all about. It was about how we all have a book that has blank pages in it. That's our life. And each day we have a new opportunity to write a new chapter with new pages and new opportunities being presented to us because we all have dreams. We all have goals to achieve that we set for ourselves, and we all have dreams because a dream starts with a goal that is set by your heart. And as long as you trust in your heart as your best friend, because your heart really is your best friend, and that's something I've never ever wanted any of you to forget. And I think that Red and Chloe are going to have a greater appreciation for their friendship, and certainly Red and Pink are going to have a greater respect for each other because they're sisters. That's what's so beautiful about this movie, and that's something I've never felt more intrigued about, is the storyline that is developing now between Red and Pink as sisters. And sisterhood is really going to come to the forefront in this movie. This is just one of the many consequences of time travel that we are going to be faced with as fans, but it's going to be something really special for us to experience together because she's going to have her own introductory song. There's reportedly a remix of Life is Sweeter When You Are going to be happening, and to be honest with each and every one of you, I'm really excited to see what the future has in store because I've never been that excited about a remix. I remember when they remade the What's My Name song as the Uma character in Descendants because they really wanted to change up the vibe of it, and I thought that Red coming in to present her vocals and her version of the song was an incredible opportunity. You know, that song has over like 1 million likes on YouTube, and I remember the If Only song, before Uma was ever a character in Descendants, had something like 1.5 million likes. That's incredible. When you actually look at the statistics of songs like If Only and What's My Name have been putting up both the original version of it and the remixes, it's outstanding to me. You guys are always YouTubing your favorite Descendants songs. The one thing you forever and always remain passionate about are songs because you felt a part of these music videos. And how many of you, when you saw your favorite Descendants music video for the first time, ever felt as if you were a part of something that was so magical? If the answer is yes, then I support you, and you will forever and always have a special place in my heart because I grew up in a very different generation of Disney music. So what they would do years ago is they would take classic Disney songs from classic Disney franchises like Pinocchio and 101 Dalmatians, and they would have people like Jessica Simpson and the Baha Men and the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC sing their own versions of these songs. So they were called Disney Mania CDs that you could buy at Walmart, and I remember picking up every version of that CD series and being particularly fond of the Disney versions of the songs sang by some of my favorite pop artists like the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC because I never had enough opportunities to experience it. One of my favorite classic remakes was sang by Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey when they were together, and it was called A Whole New World. And that's one of my favorite music videos of all time. And you must be saying to yourself as you wipe a tear out of your eye, hey, Jonathan Clarke, I love watching your videos on YouTube because you talk about so much retro Disney content. How many generations of Disney were you a part of? Well, let me put it to you this way. If I could have had the chance to be a Disney prince or a prince in Descendants, I would take myself up in the opportunity just as fast as you could snap your fingers. Because giving you guys a character and putting feeling and heart into that character is what's been lacking from these Disney princesses that have been represented in the Descendants franchise for a very long time. I would have loved to have worn the colors of Ben or my own colors. I mean, what would Jonathan Clarke's color be? Probably something like orange or red or something like that with a bit of black thrown in there because you guys see me wearing a black shirt all the time. I love wearing these black sweaters because they're very comfortable, so I think that a bit of black and red thrown in there for my costume would be cool. And, you know, I would be one of those very exuberant characters, very energetic, very enthusiastic, and you guys would really see me appreciating the moment, bringing these characters to life, and I would definitely partake in these music videos and the choreographing of it. I would go through the boot camp, and I would do the whole boot camp regime, getting in shape for this kind of thing, lifting weights and stuff. I would do everything required to be a prince in Descendants because it's been a dream of mine. And I know a lot of guys don't really feel fond about Descendants. If you notice anything about the Descendants of Zombies universe, the majority of them, at least 85% of the demographic, are girls. And I think that's what gives you a greater appreciation as a YouTube creator, is because you know you touch the heart of so many girls out there who love Descendants of Zombies so much that you can create this relatable content that touches their heart in so many emphatic ways. I've loved having the opportunity to meet so many incredible fans. I look forward to meeting so many more incredible fans in the future, even though I have something going on with my throat all the time and I feel like I'm suffering from a zombie infection. I have no idea what's going on with me. I've never taken banana medicine ever since at least the age of 10 years old, and I guess I must be suffering from a zombie infection. I really don't know. But you guys have saw something special in this crazy YouTube channel from its initial beginnings, from its ground roots when we used to talk about the original series. And I think those characters will forever and always be something we will forever and always remain dedicated to and feel very passionate about. But I think that we have seen stronger characters represented in the new franchise and the new take on Descendants, because it's given it life. It's shown so much incentive, and I have never felt more honored to have been a part of these conversations and to have shared in them with so many wonderful fans of Descendants and Zombies. Thank you so much for allowing me to have been a fan of Descendants and Zombies, because that's what you've allowed me to become, is a fan of Descendants and Zombies and to be welcomed into your universe. And I have never felt more honored to be the voice of Descendants and Zombies, having represented so many wonderful fans. If Disney wasn't going to create this kind of content for you guys, I was going to create it, and I was going to be the host of this show. I had hosted many YouTube shows over the years, had the opportunity to be the host of my own radio program for forever, and I wanted to create a show that was dedicated, a show and a channel that would be created to Descendants of Zombies fans and be created for you about what you wanted talked about what you wanted discussed, and the content that you've known and loved and appreciated for forever. And that's why this YouTube channel has become one of the highest revered YouTube channels of all time. I could have never done it without your guys' love and support that you've had for this YouTube channel from its very beginning. I never imagined that almost 4,000 people would have subscribed here. I never imagined that this YouTube channel would have seen over 100,000 views, but it has, because I can have these conversations 1,000, if never 1,000,000 times over, and it will always and forever hold a very special place in my heart. Thank you so much for allowing me to have been part of each and every one of your lives, to have came into your life and represented you as your voice of Descendants of Zombies, and to have shared my story with you. Because I think that if a YouTube creator never has the opportunity to share his story with you, his or her story with you as a YouTube creator, but Descendants of Zombies content, then how do you ever gain a greater appreciation for the host of the show? How do you know anything about them? Or how does he or she know anything about you? And that's why this YouTube channel has become so relatable to so many wonderful fans of Descendants of Zombies, and has been an overwhelming opportunity for me, because this is an overwhelming opportunity for me to have shared my story with each and every one of you, and an opportunity that I know that I will forever and always cherish and forever and always support. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support that you've shown this YouTube channel, because this story is far from over and we still have a long way to go. It is really stormy outside today. The snow is falling outside my window. It looks like Aradel from Frozen out there today, and I think I might just want to take myself up on the opportunity to build a snowman, so I'll get around to doing that after I record this final video for today. I hope you guys will forever and always love Descendants of Zombies, because I've always wanted you guys to take away a greater appreciation that I hope you may have always had for this franchise, because I think we can never have enough opportunities to really live in the moment. And when we have the opportunity to live in the moment for things like the Worlds Collide Tour and review it, we should at least say something nice. It is really stormy out there today. Hopefully they haven't called for any warnings or cancellations of stuff out there. I hope everybody's safe out there today. So I've lived here on this island for forever, and it really reminds me of Oregon, and it surprises me that they didn't choose this location to shoot Descendants, because the scenery here is really beautiful, and I've really loved living here for forever, and I just hope they take themselves from the opportunity to shoot a Descendants installment here, because I will be the writer and producer behind it, and I will give this so much magic. I will give the franchise so much inspiration, and really give you guys something special to believe in, because I've always wanted to be in these franchises, and I've always wanted to be a part of something special. And you know something? When it was all said and done and the smoke and dust was cleared, I had the chance to be a part of something special because of each and every one of you. I got to share in it with each and every one of you, and I got to experience Descendants of Zombies for really what it was worth. And I have each and everybody to thank for having made this their favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time. So I would just like to take this opportunity to say thank you from my heart to yours for having made this your favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel of all time, because we still got a long way to go, because this story is far from over. It is really stormy outside of there today. This story is far from over. I got to get out of Dodge because apparently there's a blizzard going on inside my house, and there's probably going to be that marshmallow guy from Frozen coming in through my window at any moment trying to get out of a blizzard himself. So I got to prepare myself for the inevitable, and then there's always a chance of a zombie apocalypse happening later on tonight, and living your life in fear of that never comes easy. So if you would like to subscribe here to this YouTube channel, you're more than welcome to be a part of these conversations. I would love for you guys to join me on this wonderful journey that I've been on for forever, that you guys have had me on for what feels like forever, and I felt more than honored to have experienced this journey for what it was worth, and to experience this story with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you've shown for this YouTube channel. Thank you so much for showing me an endless amount of love and support, which I can never seem to get enough of. Because everybody's made this their favorite Descendants of Zombies YouTube channel, because Jonathan Clarke on YouTube is your favorite YouTube channel, right? You guys got to admit that. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, and come back for another conversation, which we will resume bright and early tomorrow morning between 8:35 and 9:05 a.m. We will pick up this conversation from where we left it off. I have never felt more honored to be a part of these conversations and to share my story with each and every one of you. Thank you so much for having loved and supported Descendants of Zombies as much as what you have, and thank you so much for having watched this video.